All right, for this video, we're going to go ahead and go over our next measure of position called a quartile. So quartiles divide a data set into 4 equal count chunks. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. We know that quarters, we need 4 quarters to a dollar. Typically when we hear that prefix core, we know that means 4. So we're dividing the data into 4 equal count chunks, which means we need 3 dividers. We have a first, second, and third quartile. We can do this 2 ways. We can do this by hand or with a calculator. I'm going to show you both. So I'm just going to write some random numbers here. So I have a list of values, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 8, 8, and 10. Very first step when you're finding quartiles by hand is you should sort them if they are not already sorted. And we're going to find these in chunks starting with the second quartile, which is the middle of the list. It's the number that cuts it into 2 equal chunks. And to do that, I'm going to start by crossing off values in pairs from the outside edge. So I'm doing it in pairs until my x's meet in the middle. And I have found my middle point. My middle point is 4. So I know that my second quartile is 4. And I'm going to write that as Q2. I need now the first and the third. So Q1 and Q3. To do that, I am going to remove the second quartile from the list. So that number I circled in orange, no longer part of the list. And then I am going to repeat that process with the lower half and the upper half. So I'll use a different color for the lower half. Same process, I'm crossing them out pairwise until I get to the middle. And I'm left with 2 in the center, so my first quartile is 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the upper half. 5 and 10, 6 and 8. I'm left with 8 in the middle. My third quartile is 8. You will notice with those 3 values circled, I have 4 equal count chunks. 2 data values, 2 data values, 2 data values, 2 data values. It won't always be exact. If I had an even numbered list where there wasn't a value here, that can complicate things a little bit. And we'll get into that later when we talk about the median. But for now, that's how we do that by hand. The other way we do it is with our calculator. So on the TI-84, the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to press the Stat button. And then we are going to press Enter to select the Edit menu. And then we're going to put the data into list 1. So let's go ahead and do that together on our calculator. So Stat, and then I want Edit, so I'm going to hit Enter. I have data in my list, so I'm going to go ahead and go up to the list header and hit Clear Enter to get rid of my old data. And then I'm going to type this list of numbers into list 1. Whoops. 4, 4, 5, 6, 8, 8, 10. And I think I did that correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 data points. 11 data points in my list. Perfect. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to press Stat again. I'm going to move over to the Calculate menu, Calc, and then I'm going to choose option 1, which is 1 var stats. And we are going to make friends with that menu this week. So I'm going to go over to Calc, and you can see 1 var stats is the first entry. And it's going to ask me where is my data. My data is in list 1. I didn't have a second list. I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm going to go to Calculate. And you'll see there's a whole lot on my screen. You'll notice the very last value there is Q1, and it's 2, just like we got over here. And there's an arrow telling me there's more off the screen. And I can see a Q3, which is 8, which is what we have. And I spy my 4, but it's called something other than Q2. So over here, we call this the second quartile. This gets another name. It's also called the median, and we're going to talk more about that in a future video. But that second quartile, or that median, which is also equal to 50th percentile, is the value that cuts your list exactly in half into 2 equal count chunks. So on your calculator, instead of first quartile Q1, Q2, Q3, you're looking for Q1 median Q3. All right, if you have any questions on quartiles, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in our next video.